Welcome to HakTip, the show where we break down concepts, tools, and techniques for hackers, gurus, and IT ninjas. I'm Shannon Morse, and today we're learning about the fun world of permissions. Now, Linux computers can be used by more than one person at the same time. Multiple people can log into the same machine from different locations to work on it. So it's really important for that machine to allow certain users to do certain things so that they, don't destroy one another in the process. Hence, we have permissions. Now, if you've ever had an output that said something like permission denied, that means that you don't own the file that you're trying to change or you haven't been granted access. Users can own a file or belong to a group that has permissions to access files by the owner. The owner of a file can also grant access to everybody, aka the world, and they can check your identity using the ID command. So, first you see the user ID number and then your primary group ID. For example, I see myself, so UID 1000 Shannon, that's my name, GID, which is my group ID, the group number, and then the number 4, ADM, and so on and so forth. So these are all the different groups that I belong to. If I run a file called /etc/passwd, it tells me permission denied. So there you go. Now this is a file that shows the user accounts while the etc group file shows the group information. The shadow file, also found under the same directory, includes information on the user's password. All these different files will output the information for the ID command, and each one is updated when new accounts are created. Now, how do you tell if you can access a file or not? For example, I'll run a text file. So I'll call this lstackl example.txt. Oh, let me create that file first. Touch. Okay, so I just created the file. There we go. Now the answer you'll find about your permissions is over in these first 10 characters at the beginning. This tacrw, tacrw, tacr, tac. Right now it doesn't really make that much sense, but it will in just a second. Now the first one is the file type, and then the next 9 are the read, write, and execute permissions for the file's owner, the group, and everybody else. For the file type, tac means a regular file and D means a directory. So in this case, tac means a file. L, C, and B usually mean a symbolic link, a character special file, or a block special file. You won't see those ones very often. A character special file is like a terminal or a modem. A block special file is like a hard drive or a CD-ROM, where data are in blocks. Now at the beginning here, you see R for each of the user groups. This means that you can open or read a file, or you can check out the contents listed for a directory. W, right after the R in the first 2 groups, means that you can either write to a file, or you can create files in a directory. And if there was an X on any of these, that means that you could execute the file or enter a directory. So if I saw something that was listed out like this, tacr wxr x r tac x, that would mean that I could do read, write, and execute for the user, the owner, but only read and execute by the group and everybody else, the world. If I saw an example like this, where it said drwxr tech x tech, that would mean that this directory can be entered, or files can be created, deleted, or renamed inside the directory by the owner, but the group can only enter it. They can't do anything else. And everybody else, they can't even see it. They can't do anything. Now let's check out changing file modes after the break. Now we're back with changing file modes. Now if you are the file's owner, you can change the file's permissions with the chmod command, which is basically change mode. To change using a number scheme, which is octal representation, you would need to know the following. 0 in octal means 0, 0, 0. And in binary, this means tac, tac, tac. So it kind of changes between 3 different versions. 0 octal, binary, 0, 0, 0, and then tac, 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 which is what you see in the output. 3 in octal means 0, 1, 1, which basically means tac wx. And 7, for another example, in octal means 1, 1, 1, which translates to rwx. Another example, 6 in octal means 110, and in binary this means RW TAC, and so on. So there's about 10 different ones, I believe, or so, and each one means a different name change or a chmod. Now to change lstacl example.txt so that your desired permission output does something that you want it to do, you can do this. lstacl example.txt. So right now it has the same mode that I have left it on, and then I can change it with chmod 600, so I have 6 for the first part, and then 0 for the group, and then 0 for everybody else, example.txt. Now if I go back to it, aha, it changed. So 600, this means 6, which is 110 or RW TAC, and then 0 or 000 in binary, which means TAC TAC TAC, and TAC 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 for the group and everybody else. So it kind of sounds really confusing at the moment, but once you do it a couple of times, you'll get the hang of it. Now you can also change modes using symbolic notation. So there's U for user, G for group owner, and then O for others or the world, and then A for everybody, all. So for example, U TAC X, this means that the owner cannot execute. If I pressed in G0 equals RW, this would mean that the group and others can only read and write. If I put in U plus X, this means that the owner can now execute, and so on and so forth. So now that you know how to use both octal and symbolic notation, you can use the chmod however you like. This can be done through the GUI as well by right-clicking on a file or a directory. So if I went into the GUI, and I clicked on example, I could go to permissions, and I could change it for the owner, the group, and others. I could do read only for others, close. Now let's see if it changed in here too. There you go. So that's pretty cool. Whether you want to change your permissions in Nautilus and the GUI, or if you want to do it in the terminal, either way is up to you, and you have both choices. Now, have you guys had any weird experiences with permissions? You can make sure to email me over at tips@hak5.org with your thoughts, or you can comment below about what you think. And be sure to check out our sister show, Hak5, for more great stuff just like this. And don't forget to check out our new show, ThreatWire, for internet privacy and security news at youtube.com/techfeed. I'll be there reminding you to trust your technolust. Bye!